Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews, Horror Movie Night. Tonight's review is Grizzly 2, Revenge.
So as a fan of the spiritual successor to Grizzly, Night of the Grizzly and Grizzly, I was interested to see what Grizzly 2, Revenge would have been like. This was a film that was actually shot in 1983, but it wasn't released until 2020, and the fact of the matter is the film was never finished. They never finished shooting back in 1983, so none of this footage that they have from 1983 is completely finished. And they try to throw together new scenes to try and tie things together and put things together. And you can tell by watching, especially someone like me who has worked extensively in editing and everything, you can tell that they edited it the wrong way. They took scenes that are supposed to be taking place later, most notably the scenes of future stars George Clooney, Charlie Sheen, and Laura Dern, and they just took those characters who, apparent from the way they're doing their dialogue in here, they were supposed to have been in it probably midway into the film, and probably were in the film bits and pieces here and there. And instead, they just throw all of their scenes together, edit them all together, and throw that at the very beginning of this film. And then, to make matters worse, they throw credits on it to make it look like those three are the stars of this film, which they are not. The stars of this film are Steve Inwood, Deborah Raffin, and John Rhys Davies. And those three are basically almost like our three heroes from the original Grizzly, in a way. It takes a lot from that. And it would have been very interesting, had they finished this film, to have seen the dynamic between those three, because you can get bits and pieces of it and get a feel of what those three were supposed to have been, but it's missing elements that is incomplete. The film was never finished. And the way that they just throw these new shots, which it's apparent, you can tell when you have the new footage, which is all HD and beautifully colored, and then you go to the 1983 footage, which is more grainy and looks older. You can tell that it's not. And to make matters worse, they have a sequence in here to have the explanation of why the Grizzly is killing, in which it initially, you know, from watching this, you can just figure it out, that the poachers, as played by Jack Starrett, Charles Cyphers, and Marc Alaimo, were supposed to be the ones that kill the Grizzly's babies and cause it to go on this rampage. But because they couldn't finish it and they couldn't get Jack Starrett, who, because he's gone now, to come back, and Charles Cyphers and Marc Alaimo at this point was too old, 2020, whenever they were trying to finish this. But they go and they just add some random hunter at the beginning who, in stock footage, basically, of Grizzlies playing and everything, they end up cutting together a shot where it makes it look like the gun is being popped up, and they're shooting this baby out of this tree. And then the Grizzly growls, signaling that it's pissed and it's wanting its revenge now. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because of the way they put this film together. And later on, I'll point that out, later on they use that same footage again without the hunter. And you get to see the finish of what the real footage of this, nature footage of these grizzlies was, before they superimposed this CGI bullet to supposedly hit the one out of the tree and kill it, and it's just so stupid that you would do that. And it's so stupid that you would, make this filming the new footage in HD quality, making it look like it's apparent that it does not fit into this film. And, it's pretty easy to get cameras of the era to shoot to make it look technically like that footage at least, which they did not do on this. And then you have the concert bullshit in this film that is just god-awful to sit through. You have horrible songs being portrayed in this that it's in Hungary. So none of these singers on here are singing in English. And it's supposed to be set in like some national park someplace in America, and yet we are getting these concerts with all these people singing in Hungarian, and it's like, what the fuck? I mean, it was hard for me to sit through the stupid, ridiculous, idiotic concert sequences. And then they throw in an additional group in here of singers that it's apparent that the filmmakers just decided, hey, let's go film this new band here doing their little thing. They're not really doing it for this movie. We're just going to have it. Maybe even they just took it off YouTube and just threw it in there. Wouldn't surprise me, because this is a very cheaply done, shitty an attempt to complete this film. And it's horrible. It is horrible. And it's a shame because look at all the cast members you had in this. Not only do you have Steve Inwood, Deborah Raffin, and John Rhys Davies, but you also have Louise Fletcher was playing basically the woman who's not really listening to Steve Inwood when he's telling her that this bear is on the loose. You need to stop this concert bullshit. She's just going through with it and everything. And then you also have Deborah Forman playing Steve Inwood's daughter in this. And she, all of these people would go on after this 1983, shooting of this film and go on to, pretty much bigger heights, except for Steve Inwood. I don't remember seeing him in too much after this. But everyone else, George Clooney, Charlie Sheen, Laura Dern, and then, of course, you have your poachers. You got Charles Cyphers, you got Jack Starrett, and, I know a lot of you are like, who's Jack Starrett? Jack Starrett was in First Blood playing the dick character that was even a bigger dick than what Brian Denny was in there. And then, of course, he was also in Blazing Saddles as the drunk. And a lot of people probably wouldn't even recognize him from that because he looks so different. And then Marc Alaimo, which not many people know who that is. But their performances throughout this would have been good had they actually been able to finish this. But it is an unfinished film, and it shows that it's an unfinished film. And what these hacks did in trying to complete it, they didn't complete it. You just took an unfinished film, you threw in a bunch of bullshit that doesn't make sense in it, and then you edited it in a way that doesn't make sense either, because you couldn't edit it fully together because you don't have the footage to connect the scenes. For instance, you have George Clooney, Charlie Sheen, and Laura Dern mentioning stuff that was supposed to have happened, but they are edited together at the beginning of this and made it to look like they are the first victims of this Grizzly here. And it's so silly because it's apparent that they were mentioning meeting basically the poacher characters of Cyphers, Starrett, and Alaimo. And also probably even the Ranger, Steve Inwood. But they couldn't finish it because they didn't shoot those sequences that connect those characters. So you're left with a film that is ridiculously bad because of it. And it's unfortunate because, like I said, with all the cast that they had in this thing, the talent behind this thing, it should have been a really great sequel to Grizzly. But as it is really crap. So my final review for Grizzly 2 Revenge, I am going to give this film a 4.2 out of 10. Skip this one. Do not try to watch this one. But have you seen it? If you have, do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. As a Dark Knight Fan Plus member, you have access to an area on the channel right now where you can request a movie, TV series, or ranking video of your choosing. And when that video goes up, it will go up for all Plus members prior to it going up on the channel for all other subscribers. So if you want to get interactive and help me to get more movies, TV series, or ranking videos on this channel that I might not normally cover, become a Plus member. Well, that's it for another horror movie night. If you missed last month's horror movie night, check out the link above. And if you missed any of our other horror movie night reviews, check out this playlist and get caught up.